Dragnet's story begins with one name, Jack Webb. Now, Webb wasn't just another actor or producer trying to make something stick in Hollywood. He was meticulous, maybe even obsessive, about details. And that's how this groundbreaking series came to be. Webb starred as Sergeant Friday, a character who was, let's say, a little terse, not big on words, but big on presence. His delivery had this kind of plain-spoken, steady confidence that really stuck with audiences. I mean, who doesn't remember the iconic line, "Just the facts, ma'am"? Here's what set Dragnet apart. Webb didn't want just another flashy crime drama. He wanted realism, raw, unvarnished police work. So he actually incorporated real elements from the Los Angeles Police Department. We're talking about true radio call signs like KMA 367 and real officials' names, like Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. Can you even imagine other shows going to those lengths at the time? This commitment to authenticity, it wasn't just a gimmick. It set the tone for the entire series and, honestly, for police dramas as a whole. Dragnet showed audiences the nitty-gritty of police work. And suddenly, it wasn't all car chases and shootouts. Instead, it was methodical, and sometimes even procedural. Step-by-step problem-solving. And Webb's vision, it worked. The show came to define realism in crime storytelling. If you think about it, shows like this, they changed how people viewed law enforcement. And honestly, they laid the groundwork for the entire police procedural genre that followed. When it came to portraying police work, Dragnet really set the bar. It didn't glamorize the role or rely on cliches. Instead, it showed the grind, the routine, and yes, even the boredom of real-life law enforcement. And that's what drew people in. It felt real, relatable, and authentic. You had this balance between the mundane details, like filing reports or painstaking evidence collection, and the sheer danger officers faced. I mean, it gave a fuller story, a kind of deeper respect for what law enforcement does. And that respect wasn't accidental. Jack Webb had this goal of improving the public's perception of police officers. And you know what? He really did it. Tons of viewers walked away from the show seeing cops in a completely new light. Not just as enforcers, but as people navigating tough, even thankless jobs. Now, beyond influencing how folks saw law enforcement, Dragnet's cultural impact was just huge. Think about it. More than 50 years later, people still recognize its style. The tone, the pacing, the fact-first storytelling. These things didn't just vanish when the show ended. They became part of the DNA of every police procedural we've seen since. Shows like Law, Order, or CSI, they owe a huge debt to Webb's approach. And Dragnet wasn't just shaping TV or radio. It was in the zeitgeist, like everywhere. There were parodies, homages. It became more than a show. It was this cultural touchpoint. For example, that deadpan delivery of Sergeant Friday. It's been echoed so often. Even people who've never seen the series kind of know the reference. I mean, that's staying power, right? But Dragnet's influence wasn't just as a time capsule of its era. No, it's more like a blueprint. It didn't just reflect its time, it shaped what came after, showing that viewers craved stories rooted in reality and authenticity. Now, let's talk about what listeners think about Dragnet, the good and, the not so good. Over the years, fans have consistently praised its storytelling. That realism, that grounded approach, it really resonated with people. You could feel the weight of the stories, the authenticity of the characters. It wasn't just entertainment. It felt like stepping into the shoes of real police officers. But nothing's perfect, right? Some critiques popped up, especially around the sound quality of older broadcasts. Folks have pointed out muffled audio, probably tied to the age of the original tapes, and some even mentioned squeaks or distractions. I mean, these were recorded decades ago, so yeah, there's bound to be some quirks. One thing people rave about, though, is the clean rating of the series. It's something you don't see every day in shows tackling crime. Yet Dragnet managed to keep things family-friendly while diving into serious, often heavy topics. That balance, it's honestly an art form. And speaking of balance, Dragnet's episodic format is worth pointing out. Each episode, self-contained but beautifully crafted, offers just enough to bring the story to life without overloading you. It's part of why the show's so memorable. Even years later, listeners appreciate that kind of precision. Dragnet had a real impact on me personally. I still remember the first time I stumbled across it. I was, I don't know, maybe 13 or 14. And there it was, playing on the local radio station. The dialogue, the pacing, it just clicked. It was like I'd discovered how storytelling could be stripped down, bare bones, but still pack a punch. Honestly, it shaped how I approach podcasting today. That focus on clarity, on letting the story breathe, it all comes back to Dragnet. So, as we wrap up this episode, I hope Dragnet's legacy resonates with you the way it has with me. It's a reminder of what storytelling can achieve when it's rooted in truth, in humanity, and in just honest effort. And that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.